Hello, everybody. Welcome to Off the Top. If you're tuning in from East Africa, asante sana for joining us. Je m'appelle Vijay Adams. Je suis magnifique télévision compère. My French ends there, but what is to come is quite exciting. I chat with celebrities, and what fascinates a lot of them is the fact that this entire process is going to happen without me using no scripts, no prompters, no cue cards, absolutely nothing. Hence the name Off the Top. We're filming from 11/4 EPAC Studios here in Lagos, Nigeria, the entertainment capital on the continent. And things about to get very exciting. Don't move.
He's a multi-talented comedian, actor, writer, and film producer. He made his debut stand-up comedy on Nigerian's legendary Night of 1,000 Laughs, and since then, he's never stopped making us all laugh. Join me as I hang out with one of the most iconic comedians in Africa, Bovi. As we play some fun games, ask him questions he's definitely not expecting. Buckle up, because with Bovi, anything really goes.
Dum, dum, dum.
Come on.
What up, bro?
Bro, good to see you.
Good
Thank
to
you so
see you.
much
How
for
have you
coming.
been?
Now, as I see these games, first of all, I don't see your mind if you want to go to FIFA. Okay, let's do. I always manage to play FIFA, but unfortunately, you've never been able to even make the event. You're always traveling.
Always
Either out
not
of
around.
town, trying to come back on the day or whatever,
But gladly, though, because I'm not really a FIFA person,
but got you.
you know, and
But when you play FIFA, what do you use? Oh, Bayern Munich. Come on.
for now, I go with emotions when I play. So for me, it's players I like
Oh, okay.
that are strong, that can do half the work for me.
So if you were a coach, you'd be like Mourinho, you choose strong players on
Yeah,
your team.
strong players and players good with possession. I like possession
Football, got you.
Right.
Talking about, I remember the first time I saw Extended Family. I just thought Extended Family was so special. I thought it was so good.
Right.
And I don't usually check the end credits, but for some reason I checked and seeing your name as the writer. And also getting Visa on Arrival nomination AMVCA
Right.
as a writer.
Right.
I think it's very special because you're a famous stand-up comedian. But that's another part of you that is completely
It's,
incredible.
yeah. That's actually my second nomination for writing at the AMVCAs. Yeah, so it's one of the things that come to me quite easily. No stress.
So Extended Family, for example, what was the birth of it, you writing that, working on it, producing as well, acting?
I always thought about doing stuff like that, you know, and I like to tell stories that are relatable. I don't think the homes where there was no extended family exist in Nigeria. Nuclear family, father, mother, child, and nobody else. I don't think they exist.
At some point, one uncle and auntie would
Yes.
show up, and grandma somehow.
You know? So even if they exist, there are still the homes that basically you know of these things happening,
Yes.
you know?
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's it for me.
And I remember that you worked as a PA in the early stages of your career to get started.
Absolutely.
Tell me about that experience working. It was RMD?
Of course.
Tell me about that experience working as
The
RMD.
most famous African actor.
How
It was
that
good.
experience,
I can't say, wait, let me score you. It was work, but it was training as well. You know,
Got you.
that was the fun I had. Wow. That was the advantage working with him, you know. So it was more like professional most of the time, but a good number of times semi-professional. So, you know, stuff that he didn't need to do, like, yo, Bovi, you need to fix this. This is not professional. You don't do this. Clients, it will get you in trouble.
Got you.
You know, stuff like that. So, yeah, it was a, like, father-son relationship.
Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. If you think about your career from acting, which, by the way, I think, obviously, a lot of people saw you as an actor first before stand-up comedy.
I was an actor first before stand-up comedy.
So what was the birth of stand-up comedy?
So like I said, I don't think there's anything entertainment that I don't do, that I don't have an idea of,
Right.
you know? So I was always going to do stand-up. It's just that I found myself doing TV first.
Yes.
Right. So yeah, I found my way, did auditions.
You auditioned as a comedian?
I actually didn't audition as a comedian, I auditioned as an actor, right? But in the process, I was getting to meet the comedians. And don't forget, IMD did a comedy show called Made in Worry as well. So I used to stage manage at the time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and I was like, I can do this.
I can do this.
It was my closest foray to it. Even though I was attending shows then, I used to attend shows like buy my tickets, just go to watch them boys do their thing. Yeah.
Can you remember the first time you performed as a comedian stand-up?
Night of 1,000 Laughs. Got on stage.
Were you nervous? No, you can't just you can't just talk about it like that. Okay, well, you've been already in the system, so it wasn't going to be that hard.
So in the system, I studied theater, so I had always done stage.
Oh, yes, true.
You know, I had always faced an audience.
True.
However, for Night of 1,000 Laughs, in my first year, when I got on stage, the audience roared because I was very famous on TV.
Oh.
You know, so there was this roar, yeah. And I became nervous. I became really nervous. I was like, whoa. They haven't even heard me say anything and they are approving like this. I'm in trouble. But yeah, I mean, I survived. I forgot the jokes, so.
Because I was going to ask you, preparing for your first stand-up, what were the jokes you went in with?
Oh, some were my jokes. Some were jokes I had probably read online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, by online, I'm talking maybe YouTube, you know, because then YouTube wasn't that big in Nigeria. So some foreign comedians, some Nigerian jokes as well.
Got you.
Some famous. So then there used to be what you call joke books. You know, I don't know if they still publish those type now. So there were joke books. There were joke books and you defend too tight. So yeah. So when they buy joke books that time, like, oh, we've heard these jokes. There are also programs on radio that they used to, you know, do tell jokes.
Oh, okay. There's a lot to unpack, but let's play some more FIFA.
Right.
Before we go sit proper.
Okay, we can do it.
You want score now, Abi?
I want score now.
Ooh!
You tried. For a non-FIFA player, I'm doing well now, Abi.
You're doing great, too. No, you're even doing great if it's not on. Tell me about the first time you got yourself an apartment. What was the feeling like in Lagos?
It was a 2-bedroom off College Road. It's called Carole Estate. Till tomorrow, I don't say I used to. Till tomorrow, I still refer to it as my 2-bedroom bunker because it was a building that the only thing that was ready was the inside. The outside had not been plastered, and then it was supposed to be a 1-story. So they had built the ground floor. They had not built the top floor. So my friends would come around and we'll be like, okay, let's go to the penthouse. And then we'll go upstairs, you know, and just chill there. But like I said, because the outside wasn't plastered, so when it rained, the wall on the inside will get really soaked and damp. I moved in there without anything. You know, that type of house where you use your bed sheet to do the window blinds.
Oh, boy.
But I was very happy. I was was very
It
happy.
gave you some level of fulfillment.
Yes, you know, because it was the start.
That's right.
It had not been long since I left university. Yeah, so yeah, it was good. It was, like you said, owning your own space. You can now say, "Yo, come around.
Come to my
You can
side."
keep late nights."
Yes.
You know, my uncle who I lived with gave me a free hand. That being said, he really gave me a free hand. But you know, you just got to be responsible when it's
True.
not your space.
True.
So yeah.
And going from that to the feeling of filling up a hotel for the first time for you, Man on Fire, what was the feeling like? Did you even know you were sold out before time, or did you come and meet it as a surprise? No, what was it?
The first Man on Fire wasn't sold out, but it was full.
Ah.
It was very full, you know. I am very careful. Anything I do, the consumer is top on my list for people to take care of, right? So I have always been careful with ticket sales. And that's because we don't have the right infrastructure, in the sense that if you leave your ticket sales open, the chances of it selling out and overselling is a problem. So at the beginning, we couldn't tell how many seats to put, how many not to put, you know, or how many tickets to sell, because we didn't know what the size of the
real
hall
capacity, got you.
could be, you know. So we rented just enough and we had just enough, you know. So, but yes, like I said, it was full. And I think I've been a bit cocky or arrogant when it comes to certain things like doing shows. I know that if you get all the indices right, if you do your homework, you will have a full house if you don't take your audience for granted. So I wasn't overly excited. Rather, I was worried, are people gonna come? Because at the time, we still used to sell tickets at the gate.
Got you.
You know, so it was more of a worry of are people going to come on time, you know. And then, yeah, to a large extent, they came on time. So,
And it was amazing. I mean, I think stand-up comedy for a lot of comedians, they say is the rawest and the truest form of comedy, even though there is comedy obviously in films, in sitcoms and all of that stuff. Tell me about your first phone,
first,
mobile phone.
Triumph. I stole it.
What?
Okay, because I took it from my home, I won't say I stole it, but I took it. I took it, you know, because it was just there. It was for my pops. It was just there. It wasn't using it. I'm like,
Me, I need it though.
I need this thing, oh. So I took it and said they should tell him that I took it, you know. I think I returned it. I eventually returned you know. But then I had a series of bad phones after that, because I was buying second-hand phones at the time. There was one RM they gave me. It was new. I think it was a Motorola. And there was none like it in Nigeria. So I'm like,
This one.
really? He was like, yeah, but it's bad. I'm like, nah, I can't fix it. Never worked. But it was so cute. I used to always take it with me. But yeah, very first one was Triumph. And then I had about 100 people on my contacts. And I memorized all their numbers for some strange reason.
You're one of those people that remember numbers you can...
Oh, yeah. So I even put my uncle to a test one day. I said, call any number. Call any name you see while looking at the number.
And I'll get it.
Yes, and I did it.
Get out.
I had time on my hands. I wasn't working when I first came to Lagos.
Got you.
So, yeah.
Are you good with dates as well? Do you remember people's birthdays, anniversaries? Are you good with dates?
I remember birthdays to a large extent, but not as well as I remember events. And I remember outfits.
Okay.
So there are people I have met. One of the last ones I remember vividly was Charles Opaleke. Charles of Play, right?
Yes.
And he was reminding me where we met. And I was like, oh, yeah. He was like, no, you don't remember. I said, well, you were wearing a gray suit and a black tie. And he was like, whoa. I'm like, yeah. You know, so I remember outfits. And it can be years, you know? So I keep clothes a lot. I like clothes that I like, you know. I
keep them for a while.
I keep them for a while until I give them out. So I may not be wearing it, but it's just there. And if I so happen to choose to wear it, and then that day I'm supposed to meet somebody that probably I haven't seen in years, if that's what I was wearing when I met the person, I will remember. And I'll change without checking, without reference.
What's the oldest clothes in your closet right now?
I don't know.
Because I still have my Atafo jacket from 2010 in my closet. I saw it not too long ago, and I'm like, I still have the jacket. So I'm like that, so I can keep clothes. I can be like,
Yeah.
this one I still keep it. Even I don't wear it.
When it comes to jackets, I think I have many
Of those
jackets, you know, but I can't say which now because I tend to do a lot of decluttering now.
Right. Tell me about the first time you were about to have a baby. What was the feeling like remembering that you're about to be a father?
I was just cool.
You were not paranoid? You were not nervous?
I wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't until it was time, and she was in serious labor, but the nurses thought, oh, don't worry, there's still time.
Right.
So when they came to check her again, they were like, oh, she has dilated. Then they start rushing. I'm like, wait, you mean there's things to set up and you guys didn't set it up? And the doctor refused to come out. He was like, oh, he's coming. Even though we had said, doctor, I want you to handle it. He's like, oh, he's coming. He never showed up. And then the nurse screamed, Chuko, yeah, the cord is around his neck. Like the umbilical cord or so, right, was... Anyway, he eventually came out. My wife was in serious pains. But he came out and he was swollen because he had been stressed out, you know.
Right.
So I was swollen and they started tapping. What's going on here? Then he cried. He cried, but I think he had drowned because there was so much liquid in his body. But they started sucking everything out with some equipment and all. So yeah, that was it. It was bittersweet because some other guy whose wife was going to have a baby too was excited, but he's like, I don't want to see this happened the night before. So he's like, I don't want to see it. So he goes out to have drinks with his friends. But the wife gets into a crisis and they had to rush her to another hospital. Long story short, she lost the baby. You know, so in the morning I couldn't be too excited because he's right there, you know. So I'm condoling with him, but I'm celebrating.
Celebrating at the same time.
Yeah, and then like they say, the rest is history.
I know.
It was very traumatizing what she had to go through, you know, having the baby and not so professional hands handling it. But we thank God.
I know. I see sometimes, I mean, when you post on your story, I have, that gives us a tip of the iceberg of what kind of dad you are. You're like a cool dad, but also very principled. How do you strike a balance in keeping them firm, but also managing the process of still being their friend?
I think to a large extent, credit should go to my wife, you know, for being, she's the one really doing her best. We don't have a manual for parenting, so we were learning as we were going. It's along the line I started making deliberate efforts to read and study. You know, for her, she's like, okay, this is how I was raised and you guys will be raised the same way. So, but the good thing for two of us is we know what we don't like. We share similarities in things we like and things we don't like. So the kids are having the best that we are offering when it comes to upbringing. But like I said, there isn't a laid down manual, you know, so we do our best and then leave the rest for God and pray.
How did you propose?
I put the ring in a plate and brought it like food. Yeah, because she wasn't feeling too well at home. So I was like, I brought you food. Ta-da. And she refused to be surprised. So I was like, okay. She suspected because she had seen me making moves, you know? I thought I was being sly.
You thought you were bad.
I thought I was bad.
You don't suspect, you don't catch
it. I think I've managed to surprise my wife only once that really got her excited, and that was at her 30th birthday. Oh. So we're having a party and we're like, oh, come outside. There's something outside. And she comes and she's like, oh, I have a new car. So, you know, yeah, I think that one, she was really
that's amazing.
Excited.
Can they surprise you?
It's very hard.
It's very hard. I heard that.
It's practically impossible.
I once heard that you can't
Now
surprise
you're making
Bobby.
me look around like that is surprising.
No.
It's
But I once
hard.
heard that it's hard to surprise Bobby.
It's hard. And it's not like I put in effort to
Be a tough guy where they don't go be surprised.
Yes, you would end up surprising yourself. You know, you end up surprising yourself. One time they planned to surprise me for my birthday, but I still found out before I left London for Nigeria. You know.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I get to my house, I see where they've hidden all their cars in the adjoining streets. You know. So I get to the house, I refuse to go inside because I didn't like the idea that they wanted to surprise me. And I don't know, man. I just didn't like it. Anyways, I get to my house, I refuse to go inside. I like my cigarette outside, I'm smoking. And heat is killing them inside. They just can't wait for me to open the door and come in. So I take off my shirt because I don't want the pictures to go anywhere. And I put on my glasses, open the door, and they're screaming, surprise. So because I'm wearing dark glasses, everybody thinks, oh, I'm frozen in shock. But the truth is I'm just like, oh. We got you. I'm like, So years later, I started letting all of them know that. I knew. Unfortunately.
We'll be back after this with more on Off the Top with Bovi. Welcome back to the show. This is Off the Top. I'm hanging out with Bovi. You're a football fan, obviously, an Arsenal fan. I'm a Man U fan, just to put it out there. You had a great season, though. You had a great season in terms of
But you won
play.
something. I know. Say,
You know the banter. You know what the banter is. You are
I'd rather not win anything and finish second and enjoy myself almost every weekend for 38 weeks than... Man, you guys stopped watching your games.
True.
You guys stopped
I can't even
watching.
lie.
Yeah.
But at what point did you become an Arsenal fan? And what was the zing? What
In 1994, you know, I don't know how. So then there was this C-band satellite dish that would even pick some channels that are not, you know, subscribed for. Most C-band channels were not subscribed for anyway. And one day I tuned in and I saw this game. They were wearing, I think it was, I don't want to lie, but it was an away game.
Right.
And JVC was on the shirt.
That's right.
And then I saw Wright. I'm like, oh, who's this eccentric fellow? So I watched that game, got to see, okay, it's an Arsenal team. They won. And from then it was epileptic. I would see other games like Man U games and the likes and all. Then we got the SCV 97 and I just started watching the games.
And you were locked in?
Locked in for Arsenal.
For life?
For life. For life.
Do you have a second club?
Even, I used to love Barcelona a lot.
Okay.
So I have several second clubs. Okay. I have several. I'm a football fan. First, you know, so in Germany, I love Bayern. I used to love Barcelona
in Italy?
lots.
Do you have a favorite club in Italy?
In Italy, I used to fluctuate between Milan and AC Milan. When Taribo West was in Inter Milan, I became an Inter Milan fan, you know. Even when Kanu was in Inter Milan, I loved Kanu. So I followed his transfer from Inter because he didn't stay long in Inter.
That's right.
Before moving to Arsenal, you know.
And you still play football in real time too?
Yes, so no stopping.
Were you going to be a footballer though? Were you going to pursue?
I would have loved to pursue football as a career, but I grew up in a very strict academic home, raised by academicians, so they were not going to have none of that, right? I remember growing and saying, God, I'm already 16, so I can never play for Nigeria's under 16 national team. Oh God, I'm already turning 23, so I can't play for the under 23, because then the under 23 used to go, was the under 20, it's still like that, under 23 for the Olympics.
That's right.
But in '96, that's when they started adding 3 overaged players. for
yes,
every
yes, yes, yes,
Olympic
yes.
team. So I used to say, so I can't, stuff like that.
Let's talk about movies. You star in movies, and because you're a writer, what gives you the inclination to agree to a script? Or at what point do you decide, and okay, I think I'll do this one. I'll star in it.
The story, the story. The story is pretty much everything. You can make, your picture can be average, can be bad, your sound can be bad in some places, quality of costume, quality, but the story, if the story is not good, it's a hard watch, even if every other thing is right.
Got you.
If the story is not good, it's a hard watch. Yeah, so I'm attracted to good stories, and then there have been good stories, but I'm not attracted to stereotypes. So because I started off playing a rustic worry boy in extended family, I used to get a lot of scripts like in that line, come and be the gates man, come and be the rustic. And I'm like, no, they're like, are you saying you're too big for the role? I said, if I was too big for the role, I wouldn't have played that role in my own TV show, So I'm like, I don't want to do something that will make me stuck here in the beginning of my career.
That's an important career decision, because I think
Yeah.
a lot of actors, they struggle.
Even in Hollywood.
They
Even in
struggle with
Hollywood.
it.
It's good to put square pegs in square holes, but even those square holes make it variety. You get what I'm saying? So you will see somebody playing a gangster for the first time in his life. Yeah, he can still be a gangster, but make him like an arm robber, or make him a thief in the office, or make him like just vary.
That's right.
Not, oh no, you were killing people in this one, so you must be killing people in all of them.
What would you watch if you're not working and you want to watch something? What do you go to? Do you documentaries, action? What's your go-to?
Since the advent of streaming platforms, I watch a lot of documentaries because I like history a lot. But when it comes to film, my go-to is action thrillers because I love the adrenaline, and my attention span is very short. So I want something to happen. I want fight. I want them to shoot.
They need to shoot someone.
You get what I'm saying? I like horror a lot too.
You like horror?
Oh yeah. I like not Saw type of horror. I like horror. I like Conjuring. I like, the ones that have to do with spiritism.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
Bovi, what?
I do. And I like to watch them at night. I like it if it's raining as well. Watch it, like. I really love horror movies. I think I've seen every movie that has had to do with exorcism. So.
Is it a theme you're willing to explore to make?
Maybe.
In a Nigerian context, in an African context, for example.
Yes. The reason I have not given it serious consideration is that we are in a society where people tend to believe these things. And I don't want to fan that belief, I don't want to fan it too much. So we live in a country where in some parts of the country, they still brand children witches and abandon them. They still see pretty girls and tell their parents that she's possessed with marine spirits, so she has to stay with me so I can cast out this demon for the next 1 week, and then they start to sexually molest them. So if I have to tell a Nigerian story, it's with these folklores, but then I will be encouraging those who believe in the first place that a child is possessed.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Let's move away from that for a second. Let's talk about governance, politics. From where you sit, would you consider?
No. Before you even finish the question. The answer is no. I mean, they say never, but I don't even like talking about politics anymore. And that's because I took a journey to discovering self. And then I realized that people are people. Those in governance, not all of them, but most of them will tell you, look, these are my intentions, but there's a system running. So it's up to them to do their best. And most importantly, it is their calling. It is their passion, it's their love, you know? We make bad movies sometimes, if you know what I mean, and we get criticized for it. So I tend to understand that those in politics are pretty much the same across parties. It's just opportunity. Are you opportune to now be the person in power? What can you do differently? And it's a hard one. Nigeria is a very complicated country. So generally, I've learned to stop criticizing people. I've learned to observe, watch, and do my own quota to how I can make things better.
How hard is it? How hard is it for a comedian in 2024 to write jokes, considering the multiple layers of things that people call sensitive?
I can't speak for other comedians, but I'll speak for myself. And the truth is, I do comedy first and foremost, primarily to entertain. Secondly, to inform. Thirdly, and rarely, to educate. Everything I do is from a very pure place. So I make jokes, but I try not to make jests.
That's special.
Yes. I try to balance out my material. But the truth is, let us take a joke for what it is defined as, which is a joke. Light-hearted conversation, light-hearted monologues, not in any way serious. We're just seeing things from a very skewed perspective. You know, so I actually just still do me.
Tell me, what would you say is the secret of you being able to stay married? I mean, what would be the secret of a successful comedian in his 40s who's stayed married for over 15, 16 years? What would it be?
14.
14, yeah, somewhere, I knew it was somewhere around there. What would be the secret?
One day at a time.
Okay.
And don't take yourself too seriously.
Okay.
You know, I'm lucky. When it comes to marriage, I think I'm lucky. You know, especially in Nigeria, I think marriage has to do with a lot of luck before any form of planning comes into play. So I think I'm lucky. But most importantly, I've learned not to take things too personally. That don't mean I don't get pushed. That don't mean I don't get worried sometimes, like, oh, who am I dealing with? Why is she acting the way she's acting, right? There's no perfect marriage, but perfection comes from loving the imperfections. I'm not the kind of person that will stay in a place that is not conducive.
Right.
So that's why I said I am lucky,
Right.
you know, to be where I am. But for many years, I was doing this one day at a time. And I'm a giver by nature. So I'm more interested in giving. And what comes to me naturally just comes to me. I hardly ask to take that, oh, you're not doing this for me, or you're not, you know. I don't take myself too seriously, basically. So, yeah, and then I'm lucky to have her and her wanting to have me, and us basically
Wanting to have each other, make it work.
Wanting to have each other and making it work. So I'm just lucky.
Amazing. Amazing.
Just lucky.
We'll talk some more with Bovi after this. We're on and popping off the top with Bovi. We've unpacked quite a lot of things, from working, starting up with extended family, to your family, and how you've been able to have balance, comedy, stand-up, movies as well. We've talked about football. Let's talk about food. What excites you with food? What do you like to eat?
I don't even know now.
Because now I'm sure there's healthy living in the
Yes, so I'm that stage now where I'm watching everything I eat. I like food. I like food, but it took me years to realize that I easily get full and I easily get bored
Right.
with food, yeah. So for me to constantly eat, it has to be ceremonial. Apart from ceremony, I'm very finicky, you know, so I like my food really neat, which means don't bring me food and then there's a spill
On the side of the
on the
plate.
side of the
Oh.
plate. Yes, don't serve me in like I will wipe the table before you even. This is eating outside now. I'm talking about, right? I'll wipe the table clean. I'll make sure everything is set. Don't give me a plate that is chipped on the edge.
Notice you would.
Yeah. There was a time where I wasn't eating at home and I was wondering what's the problem because I really like to eat. So I found myself going to the kitchen and say, you know what, leave it, I'll serve my food myself. And I would pick like a small bowl and put like rice inside and eat. And after a while, I got bored. So I'm wondering what's the issue? And then I figured I was tired of the plates.
No.
Yes. So I changed the entire set of plates and the silverware, everything entirely. And then I started eating again. Right. I also get tired of pots. So every once in a while, not every once in a while, once in a while,
You have them change the
get
pots.
new pots. I asked my wife one day, do pots expire? She's like, yeah. I'm like, She's like,
wonder.
It didn't affect the taste of the food. I'm like, it affected it in my head. I'm tired of seeing these pots, so
Let's let them go.
change the pots.
That's an angle. I mean, I don't think, thinking about it now, I think that plate could have been an issue for me. I think I used to have a thing with a spoon that I was served one time. I think I don't like the spoon.
The plates, the table mats,
Man,
you know, even if you have flowers on your dining table.
Tell me about your first car.
The one I bought with my money or the
first one you bought?
The first one I bought.
Because you know when you buy your car, when your accounts.
Okay, so there was this car that was supposed to be my car. I eventually lost it. So I didn't buy it with my money, but there was a business transaction that ideally that car should have been mine. It's called a Cherry QQ.
Oh, okay.
It's smaller than a Kia Picanto. My friends used to tease me like, if there's traffic, Bovi can come down, carry the car on his shoulder and just walk past the traffic. That's how small and cute the car was, right? And yeah, I enjoyed it. Then the first one I went and said, I'm buying this car entirely with my money was a Honda.
Okay.
You know, what's that Honda called again? It's not the Civic, that big Honda.
Baby boy?
No, not the executive-looking one.
I think I can see it in my head, but I'm trying to figure out the name. Okay.
It's a Honda Accord, basically, but so yeah, that's the first one. That's the first one I bought.
Can you remember how much it was?
3 point something million. So yes, that was my first car.
3 point something million.
Yes, but there's something about me and cars, right? So before I bought my first car, both that first one that had issues and the one I used my money to buy, I vowed that two things will never happen to me. I will never drive a car without AC, and I will never run out of gas in my car. You know when your car stops on the road.
I think it's embarrassing.
Yeah, and I have stuck to that promise till today.
I have a fill up from half tank policy.
Oh, really?
Well. Yeah, from half tank fill it up. I have that policy too. Because the thing is embarrassing if they say, what happened to the car? Oh, the fuel finished.
Yeah.
I think that's weird. If something else happens, that's okay, but than fuel finishing. So I can agree with you.
I'm not gonna lie, I get to reserve. I get to the edge.
Then you fill up.
I'm gonna fill up.
Do you like your phone batteries going down as well before you charge? Or are you...
I didn't used to like my phone batteries going down, but when I found out that for your phone battery to last, you have to actually let it run down and charge. Then I started letting it run down, yeah. Facts.
I can imagine. Let's talk about, man, there's so much running through my mind that I need to touch base with. If you were going to ask me a question, if I was on your show, what were you asking?
What made you...
Wait, why you... What's the problem? You had a question already?
No, it just hit me real quick.
Okay.
So, you know, I've always been a fan. I don't know if you know, I became your fan before you became my fan. Because I used to watch you on TV.
No, but I used to watch Extended Family too.
So I think it was the same time, though.
Maybe, because
You
I was
understand?
a fan of Extended Family. So the minute I saw that you wrote it, I'm like, no, I have
Really?
a level of respect for this person. Because I'm like,
Right.
I know what it means to do. That is to write and then star in it as well. I know it's a different level of...
Right.
So I would say I was a fan first.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, my question would be, what made you rebrand with your name?
Oh, okay.
You know that till tomorrow when me and you're talking,
It's
I'm like,
Adamu. I know, you call me
Adamu,
Adamu.
you know? So what made you rebrand? Because I've watched you rebrand multiple times actually, but the name on for me is...
Yes. Because I figured that at that time, if you search Adams on Google, a gazillion... Yes. This
It's like
one pin.
Alibaba.
This one pin. It won't pin on me. I needed something to make it pin.
Yeah.
So I was doing the research at the time. I realized I was on Pop Culture TV. And
Right.
the presenters, they were called, let me say, Season
VJ.
of Channel VJ.
Right.
So I'm like, how come no one is adopting this VJ name as their name? I didn't see anyone use it.
Right.
So I'm like, hey, okay, I'll use it now. VJ Adams, let's go.
Right.
That was the real...
That's a smart one. That's a smart one because really you can't, like I said, Alibaba. Tomorrow, if you Google Alibaba, it's the commerce website that comes up,
That's right.
not Alibaba, the comedian.
That's right.
You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, that was my reason. I wanted the name to at least stand.
And it has, because Adamu many, first of all.
Gazillion Adams is all over the world.
Right.
I figured that was going to help me just stand out. And you remember, the blonde beards I had at the time was also because I was thinking, this is my early stages of my career. Even if you don't remember my name, you can remember, who be that guy who gets this thing for face?
Yeah,
Somebody
gold beard.
Gold beard.
Yeah.
It was the only reason.
I remember.
It was just a branding thing for me.
Now that you say it, I remember.
Yeah.
On my phone, your name is still stored as.
Adamu.
From the
Because
beginning.
you never stop calling me Adamu. It's weird.
Because like I said, I was a fan. You get what I'm saying? So even I adopted VJ Adams. When we have to talk about you with others, I'm like, you know?
Yes.
But I just find myself that when we're talking... Yes.
Okay, thank you. I would also just like to generally feel your pulse on social media, cyberbullying. How do you manage all of that process? Have you have thick skin? You don't even...
I don't have thick... I won't say I have thick skin. I'm a very sensitive person. And when I say sensitive, I don't mean like too emotionally, you know, I perceive, I absorb stuff. I want to know why people do the things they do. You get? So I see stuff, but...
let it go.
Yeah. Once I discovered that anything anybody does is not really about you, right? I learned to just let go of stuff really easy. That don't mean I don't get angry every once in a while. That don't mean you don't get under my skin. But that's why the Bible even says, don't let the sun go down on your anger, which means you will get angry.
But
Just don't sleep with it.
Yeah, don't let it last
Don't
too
go
long.
to, exactly. So
Generally, when you're angry, are you a quiet person or do you let people know how you feel? Are you this is how I feel and I've let my mind out and you keep going? Or do you soak it in? Are you the soak it in type and reserved, you don't talk about it?
I think I'm volcanic. I'm volcanic. In fact, the more quiet I will stay, the more intense it might be if it comes out. But I have learned now, like I said, if it's not about me, I'll let it go. I used to have bursts of emotions.
Okay.
I used to have bursts, those fits, but they used to be very short, and then I'm fine. I'm okay. More often than not, even, I will now be very apologetic, very, very apologetic. But I started to discover myself more. I started to heal. So I learned to I also learned that silence is a powerful tool too. it's a weapon, you know, so.
What are your thoughts on childhood trauma? Do you think you have any?
We all do. We all do in varying degrees.
Have you been able to identify yours?
Several of them. Several of them, you know. So, and what it does for you is that when you find these things, you now learn to even forgive people because you realize people are a product of their upbringing.
Right.
There's this video I saw online and they said that do people suffer trauma in adulthood? And the speaker said, more often than not, no. So yes, you can be traumatized by an event as an adult, but it wouldn't stick like that experience from childhood. So people who didn't experience childhood trauma tend to easily shake stuff off with life, with different things that happen, including war. They can watch and see people die and they will recover. But many of the soldiers who go in for therapy after war, who are traumatized by the war, the root cause is in their childhood.
Got you.
Yeah.
Because it's a topic that must be visited a lot of times because...
It should be taught in schools. It should actually be taught in schools because when you see the way most of us behave in Nigeria, you will know that most people grew up in traumatized homes, and which is no fault of their parents per se, because it's what you know, you give. What you don't know.
Talking about that, I was having a conversation regarding career choices, how parents don't support certain career choices. And like you said, I said, if a parent does not know a successful footballer they have access to, how can they allow you pursue that? You know, they don't know anything about entertainment. It's hard for them at the time to willingly just let you go ahead and say you are trying to be a presenter, for example. Like, presenter.
How? Are you reading news? No.
No, so what do you
you are
mean?
presenting.
What do you say? What do you mean you're doing? Because they don't know successful stories. And so that's just to buttress your point. Like, it's you can't give what you don't have.
Our parents were trying to survive. And they felt the best for us was to either study law or medicine or engineering, because those jobs, people who had those jobs seemed stable financially.
True.
You know, and so from the financial stability became an ego thing. Like, please welcome doctor. You know, so they wanted the best for us, but they didn't know what we wanted for ourselves. But all that is changing now because they're on social media, so they see footballers and the kind of money they are making. Now parents are forcing their kids, you must play
football.
You know, back in the days, to play football meant you were a riffraff, a ruffian, a no-do-well, you know? So.
What's your take on tattoos? You have some?
I have quite a few.
What was your first tattoo?
It's in my body. Somewhere in my body.
Somewhere in your body.
Yes.
What inspired you to get a tattoo? You've always wanted one?
I like the art form. I think tattoos are an art form. Yes. I like the art form. My first tattoo was from a place of pain, per se, emotional pain, that is. And so it was my excuse to express this art form. I was like, okay, maybe it's an outlet for me.
Right.
And all. So yeah, the reason I'm not covered up is because I'm an actor, I'm an entertainer, you know, but really.
You would have been covered up?
I think so. I think so.
You're like an artist, like a musician, you'd have covered up for no time.
Yeah. And I don't like, because like I said, for me, it's an art form. It's a form of expression of art as well. And I'm not good with, I don't like needles.
Okay.
So that's how you know, for me, this is really an art form. You get, because when people are complaining, I'm like, no, tattoos don't hurt. The needles don't hurt, you know, for me.
What is your, when you fall, what gets you sick? Are you AA? What's your genotype?
I grew up thinking I was AA, then I found out some years ago that I was AC. Have you heard about that before?
I was about to ask you, like, what?
Go and read up. That's what I'm going to say. Go and read up on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
AC is I'll ask my older brother. He knows
All these things.
Yeah, he's a
Yes, ask him.
microbiologist, biochemist type guy.
Ask
Okay.
him. Let me know what he says.
Yes, I'll message you, of course.
Please do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you so much for being here. It's so inspiring. I've been able to even learn a few things as well, and just unpack just different things and have a deeper perspective to a lot of things that you do and why you do it. What do you want for Christmas?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know, and that's because. Do I
Because you
have
do the
a
giving now, you
reason?
do the giving, so you're not used to anyone.
Yeah, you know, I cherish gifts, and I like them to be surprises.
That's the only surprise you don't mind.
Yes, like buy me something and tell me all of it is for me. So it's not about the size, it's just that I didn't invest in this and it's mine, you know,
Right.
so I like gifts. I've had a few comedians reach out to me, oh, I want to bring this to you for Christmas. Can you please send me your address? I'm like, no.
Because they've told you.
Yeah, and they're like, why? Please. I'm like, no. So when they push, I'm like, dude, if it's a gift, you wouldn't be asking me for my address, you know? You will get my address from somebody else.
And just get it to you.
Yes, but now it don't sound like a gift. You don't tell somebody I'm getting you a gift. You also send me your address. Then I will not sit down and be
They
waiting.
wait for a gift.
But basically, a gift should be exactly what is called a gift.
Right.
Don't pre-inform me that you are bringing a gift to me.
Are you a phone call person or a text person? Because I hear that's the thing now. Like people go like, don't call me, just text me.
I'm more of a text person. There are people I'd rather talk to on the phone.
Okay.
But I'm more of a text person.
Generally.
Yes, generally speaking. Generally speaking.
I think I'm more of a call person. Because I want to get it over with.
So when it's business,
When is business? No, when is business,
write it.
I'd rather text message so we can have some level of documentation as well. At what point, to wrap things up, at what point did you decide to hire a manager? Did you ever take your bookings in the beginning?
Yes. So I'm not sure if I can share this story, but okay. So yes, I can share it. When an agency reached out to me for the Diamond Bank ad in like 2012, right? The lady sounded so nice on the phone. You know, my career was just really taking off properly then with stand-up. I had been 4 years in the game, but now commercial stuff was coming my way. So I get this call from the lady, oh, Diamond Bank is shooting an advert tomorrow. We'd like you to come. Was it tomorrow or next tomorrow? Next tomorrow. We'd like you to come on board. It's just a 1 minute ad, please. I said, okay, no problem. What's it? She said, this is the budget. So it's 200. I'm like, 200K is too small. She's like, oh, please now. I said, okay, no problem. Thank you so much. Thank you. And we sealed it on the phone. At the time, Basket's manager, Ann Obaseki, used to help us sort out our payments from Glow, right? So, so I reached out to her, can you help me do an invoice? I need an invoice, please, to send. She said, for what? An advert, 1 minute advert for Diamond Bank. She said, how much? I said, 200. She said, what? I said, 200. So she called me because I think we were chatting. That, are you serious or you're joking? I said, no, I'm serious. She said, nah. How much do you charge for the shows that they book you for? I said, 200. She said, so why will you be on all the billboards around the country on TV for a year for 200? And I said, you know what, say no more. It's like the scales fell off my eyes. I said, say no more. So I called the lady back and said, listen, I don't want to sound like a money monger, but I can't do it anymore. She said, what's the problem? I said, I can't. She said, no, tell me, what's the issue? I said, the negotiation was wrong. My management is mad at me. I can't. She's like, but I've already told them, you've agreed. I said, that's why I said I can't, and I can suggest somebody for you to do it. She said, who? I said, Odogu. She said, send him. So Odogu, I sent Odogu, the comedian, and he went and he did the screen test the next day, and she called back and said, listen, the client says, it must be you. How much do you want? I said, okay. Talk to my manager. And that's how my talk to my manager started. That's how me and, yeah. And she bumped the fees up times 200%.
And they paid.
Oh, yeah.
You would have been mad at yourself if you took that deal without...
Maybe not.
Because you wouldn't have known immediately.
I wouldn't have known immediately. But so this is where my strength was at the time. When I saw the script, I said, this is going to go viral. It won Advert of the Year that year in the advertising world. When I saw the script, I told them, this is... So yes, I would have been mad. Do you get? But I would have been grateful because it put me on people's faces around the country. So she bumped the fees up, you know. So I told Steve Babaiko at the time that you might want to put me on a retainer because this ad is going to go viral. People are going to think I'm your ambassador. I'm going to lose money left, right, center. He's like, oh, no, don't worry, just chill. When the advert broke, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks after it broke, he called me. Okay, now we got to put you on a retainer. I'm like, well, now... I have the knife and the yam. So this is my terms and conditions. You get what I'm saying? So at the time I was like, okay, what I really fought for in the contract was I should be able to host gigs for other banks.
Got you, okay.
You know, because this is me as an actor, model. But when it comes to my craft...
That's a different me.
Yes, so I would not do ads with any other bank, but because then banks used to do end-of-year parties.
Yeah, you're going to lose that money. Oh, got you.
But I still lost all the money. Because the advert was so viral, no bank would touch you. Yeah, stuff like that. Only a few.
But we're here. It's 2024. It's a different conversation. A whole different conversation.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to have you back. I mean, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, let's do it again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I had such a great time.
Thank you, man.
You're watching Off the Top. Remember, make your passion your profession, then work will become play. I am VJ Adams. I'll see you on the next episode. But for now, goodbye.